I need you guys to stop overrating Obi-Wan. It always seems like there isn't a set consensus within the community regarding how strong Obi-Wan actually is. Either he's a Jedi who surpasses the likes of Mace Windu, or on the other hand he's seen as a Kit Fisto victim. I'm not knocking Obi-Wan, but time and time again I find Obi-Wan in conversations he really has no business being in. To really hammer in my point, I'll be going off of his feats showcased in the Disney canon, that being the films, the comics, the novels, and the Clone Wars series, to really add much needed context to some of his best feats. With all that out of the way, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. While there's no doubt that Obi-Wan's one of the stronger Jedi Masters, with the likes of Mace Windu acknowledging him as the greatest master of Form 3 Soresu, which is a defensive lightsaber style that minimizes the energy expended in his strikes, giving him an almost perfect defense. But when comparing him to his contemporaries during the events of the Clone Wars, that being Mace Windu, Yoda, and Anakin, more times than not, Obi-Wan just pales in comparison, with Mace Windu and Yoda having multiple statements that verbatim state that they're the two big dogs in the order, with Yoda being stated to be the greatest living Jedi of all time during the events of the Clone Wars, boasting the highest recorded midichlorian count prior to Anakin, which would not only make him debatably the most powerful, but also the most skilled Jedi within the order. Furthermore, in Attack of the Clones, Yoda was able to beat his former Padawan, Count Dooku, fairly easily, with the Count being forced to retreat, with Obi-Wan losing to the Count in not one but two different instances. Even after facing Dooku before and changing his lightsaber style from Ataru to Soresu, Obi-Wan was still at Dooku's mercy, having his force wall broken by the Count and being tossed aside, rendering him immobile. While most logical Star Wars fans would say that Yoda is just outright stronger than Obi-Wan, when looking at Mace Windu, I hate to say it, but it's unfortunately more of the same. When comparing Obi-Wan to Mace Windu, all you really have to do is look at his duel against Palpatine, where Mace not only fought on par with the Dark Lord, but outright bested him in combat, even showcasing the ability to deflect the full force of Palpatine's Force Lightning, showcasing feats that even put Yoda to shame. Something that a decently sized portion of the community believes is that Sidious purposely threw the match to Mace Windu, but it doesn't really make too much sense when there are statements among statements that state that Mace won this duel. A huge misconception within the community is that Vapad is only useful against dark side wielders. Not only is that not true, but in the Revenge of the Sith novelization, Windu explains that Vapad allows him to channel his darkness into a weapon of the light, essentially meaning that Vapad allows Mace to teeter along the edge of the dark side without fully delving into it. So not only is Mace as skilled as Obi-Wan, he's also just blatantly stronger and has way better feats. Now that we got those two out of the way, easily the most controversial feat that Obi-Wan has displayed is after he beat Anakin in Revenge of the Sith. As we all know, Anakin has multiple statements through the entirety of the prequel trilogy detailing his growth and strength, with Yoda stating that Anakin is the strongest Jedi and the best duelist. In Revenge of the Sith, Anakin was able to outright just overwhelm Dooku, showcasing his immense growth rate throughout the Clone Wars. With Obi-Wan beating Anakin, I could see how that could lead one to believe that he's outright better or just stronger than Anakin, but I hate to say it, but Anakin was kinda nerfed. Anakin was stated to be in between worlds, with his mind being clouded and full of confliction, which is evident by the fact that he literally thought Padme, the love of his life, and Obi-Wan betrayed him. As shown in his final fight against Count Dooku, Anakin's level of power and skills are extremely predicated by his emotions. Early in his fight against Dooku, Dooku not only had the upper hand, but he was also toying with Anakin. But after Anakin channeled his rage and focused it onto his blade, he was easily able to overwhelm and blitz through Dooku's defense. Not only did this confliction play a large role in the outcome of the fight, Anakin and Obi-Wan also have sparred thousands of times, with the Revenge of the Sith novel going as far as saying that they were complementary halves of a single warrior. Although at first glance it would seem like this also hindered Obi-Wan, but it's important to note that Anakin's confliction very likely gave Obi-Wan the advantage in this department. Obi-Wan is also conflicted in this fight, going blow for blow against the man he called his brother, but he was very clearly not as mentally nerfed as Anakin was, with there being statements that just blatantly say the reason why Obi-Wan won is because he went to Mustafar with the intentions to kill Anakin. Obi-Wan won because he let go of Anakin while Anakin couldn't do the same, using Anakin's confliction, arrogance, and overconfidence against him before putting his former Padawan down. So while he did win the battle, his victory was very situational. Had Obi-Wan fought an unconflicted Anakin during the events of Order 66, he'd probably get no-diffed by Anakin. After getting all that out of the way, it should be very blatantly obvious that Obi-Wan doesn't measure up to the three paragons of the Jedi. Obi-Wan is an extremely powerful and crafty Jedi, but when evaluating and contextualizing all of his feats and the feats and statements of the other three characters, he just isn't in that realm of power. All three of these characters have feats and statements that can put them at the top, and like I said before, Obi-Wan doesn't really have any of those. Making this video is really fun and I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you like this video. This is Destro, and I'm out.